Hello, and welcome to Math 95 Online for summer term 2017. My name is Christina Holton, and I will be your instructor for this term. So a little bit about Math 95. It is intermediate algebra, and it's a 5-credit course. The content that we learn in this course really will build upon the Math 60 and 65 materials. So if you've been through 60 and 65, you're going to be good to go. And also, if you have tested into Math 95, that means you do already have the skills necessary to be successful in Math 95. The topics that we're going to cover will include rational equations, functions, some radical expressions and equations, some quadratic equations, and then an introduction to exponential and logarithmic functions. From our textbook, it is essentially these chapters and sections, but not necessarily in a direct order. We will bounce around just a little bit to make sure we cover everything. When you think about what materials you need for this course, you will for sure need a WebAssign online access code. And if you purchased a new textbook, that comes bundled with it. Otherwise, you can purchase it separately from Cengage. I want to mention that if you have used WebAssign previously for one of your other classes, you do not need to buy a new access. Your current access will let you in with our class key. Obviously, because this is an online class, you're going to need a computer with reliable internet access. Using an excuse like, well, my internet was down, that's a hard one because we are taking an online class, so I'm going to assume that you have reliable access to that internet. The textbook that we are using is Elementary and Intermediate Algebra, which is the 5th edition by Tussey and Gustafson. If you have the physical textbook, that's great. If you don't want the textbook itself, you do have access to the e-textbook via WebAssign. And then you're welcome, of course, to use a scientific calculator in this course, but please make note that no calculators will be allowed on the tests and the final exam. So it's a good idea to practice most all of your work without a calculator, so you make sure that you're good to go for when it comes time to take the test. So summer is only 8 weeks long, and I just want to prepare you that this is going to go by really quickly. So you need to make sure that you've got the time to devote to this course and really spending time each and every day working on your math. Here are the important dates for this term. If you wish to drop the course and still receive a refund, you have to do so by the end of Sunday evening, which is July 2nd. Of course, the college itself is closed for Independence Day holiday. That doesn't really impact us because we're an online class. We don't meet on campus. Our first test will be on Thursday, July 13th, 4 to 6 p.m. here on campus in Building 16, Room 171. If you cannot make it to campus, we're going to address that here in a minute. Just keep that in mind. If you wish to change your grading option or drop the course later in the term, your last date to do so is going to be Thursday, July 27th. Our second test is going to come up on Thursday, August 3rd. Again, same time, same place. And then our final exam will be on Wednesday, August 16th. Same time, 4 to 6 p.m. And I just wanted to make a note that Lane is closed on Fridays during the summer, so don't come to campus on Fridays. You're not going to find me or anyone else out here. So this course is done almost completely on WebAssign. That's where you're going to complete your homework and your quizzes, but you will also have to submit your problem sets to me via email, or you can drop them off here on campus. Keep in mind also that your 2 tests and your final exam will be in person on campus, or in a proctored setting, which we'll talk about in just a second. You're going to be expected to also use WebAssign for the ebook, some video resources, and the study plan if you need to utilize those when you're studying. So homework. There is a homework assignment for each section of the test, and it's basically set up to give you practice within that section. So after you've done a little studying, we want you to do a little homework to get practice. And you will need to receive a minimum score of 50% on the homework for each section before you can move on to the next section. You do have unlimited submissions for the homework in order to get that, but after 3 attempts on any one problem, the numbers will re-randomize and give you some different numbers. Same problem, different numbers, but just to give you some better practice. I encourage you to work your homework out on actual notebook paper, and that way you have something to refer back to if you find yourself getting stuck. There will be 4 problem sets throughout the term that you will actually have to print out, work the problems out, and then resubmit them to me. Either scan them or take a picture of them, or come to campus if you're on campus and drop them in the drop box outside the main math office. Late problem sets will be subject to a deduction in points, so try to make sure you get them in on time. They will be available at the beginning of the week, Sunday morning, and they will be due at the end of the week, 9 p.m. on Saturday. That 9 p.m. on Saturday is a good thing to note because that's a specific due date that I use for all of our homework assignments, for problem sets and quizzes. There will also be 4 quizzes spaced periodically throughout the term, and they're designed to give me an idea and you an idea of how you're doing on the material that we've covered so far. So I'm going to give you 2 attempts on each quiz, but they will be timed, 30-minute time limit, and the problems will be randomized between each attempt. So if you're happy with your first attempt, that's great. You don't need to take it again. But if you're thinking, I probably could do better, we'll give you a second attempt on those quizzes. Like I mentioned before, 2 tests during the term. One of them will be on July 13th and one of them will be on August 3rd. And if you need to make an alternate time, you need to let me know as soon as you possibly can. So if you know for sure that you're working during that time, or you are out of town on one of those days, let me know as soon as possible so that we can coordinate for other testing arrangements. Similarly, if you live out of the area and you can't make it to main campus, you need to let me know as soon as you can. Final exam will also be in person here on campus. That's going to be on Wednesday, August 16th, same time. The room, let me double check on that room. I might have a different classroom. I'm not totally sure, but I'll get back to you as it gets a little closer. But again, if you need an alternate time, please let me know, and as soon as you know, and then we'll make sure that happens. So here's just the breakdown of how this course is all put together. Your homework is worth 5%, your problem sets are worth 10%, your quizzes are worth 10%. You have 2 tests. Those together make up 50% of your grade, and your comprehensive final exam will also be 25% of your grade. So when it comes to extensions, you can request for a homework extension through WebAssign, and there's a little video that you'll be able to watch that'll help you with being able to do that. Late problem sets will be subject to a deduction in points, and there will be no extensions or makeups on the quizzes, so make sure you get in and take those as soon as possible. Okay. And again, if you need an alternate time for your tests, please coordinate that with me as soon as you possibly can. So you're provided with a schedule. It's going to be posted on Moodle, and it shows you which sections we're covering each week, along with what else is due, either a problem set or a quiz. Or in 1 week, we have a few less sections, so there's actually a problem set and a quiz. And my suggestion to you is make sure you're following along with that schedule as best you can, so that you can keep up with the material that we're doing in this class, and that if you find yourself getting stuck, you've got plenty of time to plan about how you're going to get assistance. Okay. I will be making the next week's material available probably on Thursday of the prior week. So week 2 stuff will come open like Thursday of week 1. So that way, if you're ahead of the game, I say keep working, keep moving yourself forward as best you can, so that you don't find yourself getting far behind. Of course, you're encouraged to work with others and seek assistance while on your homework and problem sets, but when it comes to quizzes, tests, and the final exam, you're expected to do your own work, and cheating could result in a failing grade for the course. Lane has an attendance policy, meaning that you have to attend at least 1 class during the first week, or else you will be no-show dropped. But we don't have meeting classes for this because it's an online course, so proper attendance will be recorded once I receive your problem set number 1, and I'm expecting that by 9 p.m. on Saturday, July 1st. So get on it, get it done as quick as you can, and get it back to me. Again, either scan it and email it, take a picture of it. If you're taking a picture, make sure it's clear and I can read everything. Send that in, or you can bring it to campus, drop it in the drop box outside of the main math office. I am going to hold online office hours on Wednesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. But if you happen to be on campus, you can come find me almost any time in the MRC, the Math Resource Center. So if you are wanting to specifically check in with me or ask me questions, you're welcome to do that, of course. And I'm happy to schedule other office hours by appointment. All you need to do is just let me know. I'm happy to do that. So let's say you're working on your math and you find yourself getting a little stuck. Here's what I suggest. Of course, check the other resources that are on WebAssign. There are tutorials, there are videos, of course the ebook, and then there's a study plan. Check those and see if any of that is of assistance to you. You can also come to the Math Resource Center, and our open hours are listed there. They're a little bit different over the summer than they are during the main school year, so take note of that if you're used to coming. You can, of course, email me or call me, but email works best. I'm not often in my office, so I don't get phone messages as often. So send me an email and I will get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. And then if all else fails, I encourage you to Google what you're trying to learn about. Now, use a little discernment when you do that, because not everything out there is going to be 100% accurate. But there are some great videos on Khan Academy and YouTube that you might be able to use to get yourself unstuck. If you need assistance or accommodations through our Center for Accessible Resources, please contact them and they can help you with any accommodations that you need. So just a little bit about me. I always like to share, since we're not in class, you sort of miss out on that part of me. I am a wife and a mother of 2 little girls here in town. They're growing up fast, and I tell you what, it's fun being a mom and seeing how they grow and change each and every day. That's an important part of my life for sure. When I am not working, I of course love to spend time with my family. I enjoy running when I get a chance. Perhaps not in the summer heat quite so much, but when I get a chance, I do enjoy that. And my other hobby includes baking. I love to bake when given the opportunity, and I'm a bit of a Starbucks junkie. That's what keeps me up and going most every day. And like you, I too am a student. I recently, a couple years ago, returned back to school, and so I'm working on furthering my own education through Oregon State. So that's just a little bit about me. Now I want you to take this opportunity as you finish watching this video, and I want you to send me an email and tell me a little bit about yourself. I want to know, what was the last math class you took and when was that? You can give me a little information. How did that work for you? Have you done it online before or not? Or what have you? Just give me a little bit about your math history. And then, what is your educational goal? Are you after a degree or a certificate? Maybe what do you want to do? What sort of career are you looking towards? So fill me in on that. And then give me one interesting fact about yourself in that email. That gives me a chance to get to know you. Again, since we're not in class, we have to do a lot of these things sort of virtually and remotely. If you have any questions about getting started with this course, please let me know as soon as possible. Otherwise, I wish you all the best in this term, and I look forward to working with you.